myself and two other community organizers from Voice of the Experience had the opportunity to go into the OJC yesterday with the permission of the sheriff to do a survey of the population on some of the things that involve the Phase 3 project. It was a questionnaire, a survey with 12 questions, yes or no, which I have a copy of. Very simple questions. It was voluntary. They didn't have to sign it or anything like that. We went in with 1,000, I think. We came out with 300 plus something, which I have a folder of right now, the responses and stuff like that. And from our own research, many of them didn't know anything about the Phase 3. The majority of them did not speak with any outside parties and stuff like that involved with this Phase 3 situation and stuff. Their biggest concern is programming.
We should not be here about a construction project. We should be here about mental health treatment. And so our organization has a lot of people, as you know, who've been formerly incarcerated, including myself. We've been members of a class and various class actions over all sorts of different conditions in prisons and jails. I myself have been one of those people, and I spent 24 hours a day in a light on for a month. And when I tried to get our class attorneys engaged in that, and he was a big hot shot in the ACLU getting all these awards, I could get nothing. And so we get really sensitive about whether or not the class attorneys are connected with the class. And with the average turnover of people on the inside being, weeks to months, that's a problem if the lawyers are out here trying to say what the people on the inside want. And so that is the reason why we went inside to say, let's just see if that matches up. Because there's nobody who wants to live in a panopticon, some dystopian nightmare. We all saw the images, and we know that there's some people who do support this thing, and these are contractors. When the last sheriff race went down, we actually did a research on who Sheriff Gussman's donors were. They were overwhelmingly his contractors. It was really depressing. And one of those contractors, I believe, is in this room. I'm not sure if it's him exactly. I believe it's one of the architects. These are the people who want this construction project. They don't care about mental health treatment. Thank you.
So we had 1,100 surveys. We got 300 back. 45% have been inside for 6 months or less. 1/3 have been in OJC over a year. 75% were not aware that OJC is under a consent decree. 95% don't know who the lawyers are representing them in the consent decree. Only 2 named the MacArthur Foundation. 96% have not met with any lawyers from the MacArthur Foundation. Most named a defense attorney from the OIDP. Only 1 named Emily Washington from the MacArthur Foundation. 88% have not seen the lawyers in the jail. Only 2% believe they received mail from the lawyers. 3% have written the lawyers a letter. 95% have not called the lawyers. 94% have not consulted with the lawyers from the MacArthur Foundation. Only 4% know someone who has been in regular contact with the lawyers. On average, those surveys feel 67% of people in OJC need mental health treatment. The median response, 75%. Only 24% of those surveyed believe that one-on-one sessions are offered. Only 15% of those surveyed believe sessions are offered. These are some roadblocks. And we rank these roadblocks on a scale from 1 to 4, with 1 being the greatest problem, and 4 being the lowest. This is number 1. We asked them, do y'all need more trained mental health staff? 65% rank this as the biggest problem. They need more trained mental health staff. Number 2, better trained mental health staff. 59% rank this as the second biggest problem. Number 3, needing to rearrange the current jail to create more space. 32% rank this as the third biggest problem. And finally, needing a larger jail to create more space ranks significantly low. And that's my spirit, and I thank you for the time.
I'm here to just bring it down to one person who took the time to fill out the survey and give their answers. This one person says the mental health staff to resident ratio is way too large. No one residing at OJC has been informed of the civil rights case before 7/11/2023 when these surveys were issued. It is too difficult getting changes or increases to mental health medication. Medication services are sporadic and not on a reliable schedule. The staff is not equipped to deal with the amount or level of mental health issues of residents. This is just one person trying to speak out like an unknown voice in a void. And hopefully, all of us here today are trying to give some of these people the voice and the concern that they really do need.
I'm here before you today as a mother of a 22-year-old son who struggles with mental health illness. He's a recent graduate of Opportunities Academy and moves forward on his journey to supported employment in the community. However, my excitement is completely tempered with trepidation. Mental health resources and access to mental health resources in the cities has been basically lacking his entire life. The agencies responsible for care are difficult to reach and non-responsive, and that's really where this council should be allocating resources and demanding accountability. I'm glad to hear of the efforts in the community interventions that are taking place, but I can tell you that resources do not exist for him and others like him until we are too far down the road in the criminal justice system. Councilmember Guidry is right that phase 3 is nothing more than building a mental health hospital within a jail. I know that if my son cannot handle the stressors in the community, he could end up very quickly in Sheriff Hudson's care. I saw the Panopticon on TV last week, and it really horrified me as I thought of the potential that he could end up there. I thought of his friends who suffer from mental health in there. Any parent of a child who suffers with mental health, we're the experts. We know that mental health issues such as anxiety and depression are not an everyday struggle, but an every hour and an every minute struggle. We're vigilantly watching our kids to make sure that they don't harm themselves and that they don't harm others. We're the experts who can tell you how torturous phase 3 design is, and I'd ask the council to invest community resources that are effective so my son and others don't end up at OJC, and if God forbid they do, that they have access to care that is stabilizing and healing. Thank you.
We all know that because of the pandemic, because of the mental health issues that are just present to what we would call maybe normal people, our own friends and relatives, when we deal with the people under the bridges and when we have to deal with the people that the sheriff has to deal with, we understand the need for mental health care. I agree wholeheartedly with every single person who is against this proposal. You all have to do something.
The facility that y'all are designing has to be based on the individual needs of the patients. No double bunks, period. I'm speaking from a firsthand experience about what I saw within that facility and what was going on. Secondly, mental health is a sickness and a disease that requires treatment, not punishment. And like the woman just said, a lot of things are exacerbated by what's going on, and you have other patients that will feed into what's going on. I don't know if y'all ever seen somebody clam the wall, but I've actually seen somebody clam a glass wall, okay? I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen guys get caught in between the doors where the SID come in and are actually beating these mental patients. Not what I heard about, what I've seen firsthand. Fourthly, mental health is not a one-size-fits-all situation. The patients have to be assessed and classified based on their individual needs. Each one, and they're not doing that. Also, a lot of patients are utilizing the medication as drugs. So we have to look into that. Also, when you come in to visit, you have to do that with sincere care and concern. If you come and visit, I ain't supposed to know you come and visit where everything you come see is already staged. That's no good. Also, the facility has to be designed with the safety of all people involved. We have an opportunity now to make people bitter or better. We have a duty, obligation, responsibility to do that. Thank you for your time.